So the Chinese state-owned company really follow the ESG topic. So if we can adopt this ESG, it will also helpful. For basically for IPP project, I want to add some points. In Bangladesh, as I worked for the last 7 years for IPP and rooftop projects, so there are some issues for the land actually. Land acquisition is the most crucial part. So if government will support for land acquisition and also the transmission line, you know the ROW is a very key part. If the government will support in this part and then the tender or qualified project will come, then the investment will be lower and it will be easier, and Chinese investment will, Chinese people will happy to invest in Bangladesh very easy. So some more solution from my side. As you know, besides the IPP, the rooftop market is growing. So in rooftop, the C&I in the C&I segment, the module tax, the inverter tax is very higher. If government can take initiative to reduce the tax, it will be also helpful. And also for the net metering system, the BSTI, the net metering process is quite clumsy and lengthy. If RAB, PDB can also look after, it will be also helpful for renewable energy. In addition, the intervened government is taking initiative to cancel the project. So this is a very sad news for our side actually. But I understand the government is thinking there are some corruption may happen or some. There was no negotiation, but there are some solid projects are there. Some European funded, some Chinese funded projects are there where actually proper there was no such corruption. So government can rethink, can reevaluate, can renegotiate, and support some of the projects to move forward. So actually, all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That was really a good point, precise. Really appreciate your comments. So now I would like to invite Mr. Shofikul Alam. He is the lead energy analyst for Institute for Energy Economics and Financial Analysis. So, Mr. Shofik, obviously, I want to understand about finance. And you heard about various modes and modalities. So, what more opportunities, and also at the same time, what are the challenges are there? And if you have any other additional recommendations.
Thanks. Honorable Chief Guest, distinguished discussion, keynote speaker, other participants, and media representatives. A very good morning to all of you. So, since we are very import dependent and our energy commodities are dollar denominated, so that's the issue has been we're grappling with for last several years, in fact many years, and that is the reason for all the power sector challenges now we are facing, increasing revenue shortfall. So one of the ways that is renewable energy that can help at least address some of the key challenges of the sector by reducing that revenue shortfall. So that is the good case and good investment case as well. So what is needed now, the risk-free return for the financiers. So the risk-free return will ensure the sufficient investment in Bangladesh. There lies the major challenges. So I will divide it into two parts. One is for the rooftop solar and another is for the utility scale renewable energy project. So for rooftop solar, what happens is these projects are highly feasible, but banks and non-bank financial institutions find it risky because it is implemented on the roof of industries. There are risks because those industries are already, they have already provided, that is already mortgaged to some of the banks. So the risks involved in the financing, so they need some kind of credit risk guarantee scheme that is available in other countries. If you can introduce, that can help expedite that implementation of rooftop solar project. And given the potential and given the economic benefits, so it is surprising why it is not getting picked. So the available financing scheme of the central bank, that is 1,000 crore under the green financing scheme, documentation is huge. On the other hand, it is refinanced, not refinanced. So it takes time. So that affects the implementation. On the other hand, IPCOL has extensive experience, but it also has limitations because it has other projects also. It cannot alone meet the whole demand of the sector. Now, if another important aspect, that is the high import duties, already the speaker mentioned, but we need to reduce, we need to rationalize. For example, if we have the 40% clean energy target, then there should not be that kind of high import duty. That actually discourages the investor. Now, if I come to utility scale projects, so although with the change in the government, there is optimism, but I would say it is a case of cautious optimism, because the projects are cancelled, and now we don't have any investment-ready projects. So that is a big challenge. We need to have some investment-ready projects to think foreign investment to flow, fund from multilateral development agencies to flow. So what we now need, we need to have, if we want to go for the reverse auction, that is the actual plan of the current government, we need to have ready land for that. We should have land ready, and then we should have the confirmation from the government side for the transmission line from the project side to the grid. So if those are ensured, then there will certainly be investment. Now we have also the foreign currency risk. So what we should consider? We should consider a combination of funding opportunities. One is the multilateral development agencies. Given the high foreign currency risk, I would say MDBs would be one of the best option to cater to this. To address this risk, MDBs fund would be better. Then there is also the case of climate fund. But given that we have only 2 NIE, so they also have their limitation. Considering that limitation, we need a combination of funding. We need to have a mapping of the sources of funding, MDBs funding, then the multilateral climate funds, and then also the other bilateral investment options from China, even Europe and other countries. Now, another challenge we see from the given the list of LOIs issued over the last 7-8 years or 10 years. Even after the issuance of the LOIs, we see that it takes a lot of time to develop the project. This is not only because of the land issue, but also there is the issue of equity funding. So lack of equity funding often affects that. This is not the only reason, but it also affects. So what can be done? Private equity funds, that would be one of the options. And then Bangladesh Bank earlier had IPFF, Investment Promotion Facility, IPFF. So that was instrumental in some of the infrastructure projects. So that was also used to release in dollars. So that will also be required for renewable energy project. And then there is the case of green bond that has been discussed by the keynote speaker. So that could be an option also, but given the thin market we have, I would say that the institutional investment would be key in that case if we want to utilize green bond. What about renewable energy, something like Sanchoy Patra? Because we are issuing Sanchoy Patra for every, it has the time period of 3 years, 5 years, we can probably extend if government issues Sanchoy Patra, something like that for renewable energy. That could also be the case. But for green bond, what is the extra benefit for the institutions that want to invest in green bond? So that is also for 20 years. Let's say, what is the exit policy? These are the things we need to consider. And private public partnership that our keynote speaker has also addressed. So that is already, unused fund in every budget that was allocated earlier from 6,000 crore it was at one point. So if we really can develop investment-ready project, so why that fund cannot be utilized? So that fund can be utilized as well. I think these are the different opportunities, but we also have, there are many opportunities. The first and most important thing is to have ready land and then the other infrastructure ready. Go for auction, reverse auction. Without land, it will be very difficult to go for reverse auction.
Thank you very much for these concrete recommendations and your insight. So, as promised, I would now come to the audience who are sitting there. Each of you have, I'm sure you have interest and also some comments you would like to share with us or questions also because the policymakers are here. But I would earnestly request, just focus on the issue, just do not go for elaborate comments. We know the issues, everyone knows the issue, but what is your query, or what is your concrete recommendation? That is what we want to hear. So in 1.5 minutes, so you will be speaking. Yes, please identify yourself and then make your concrete point. Please start.
Thank you so much to give me the opportunity. And I would like to thank first to the CPD to organize such a wonderful dialogue for renewable energy sector.
We will skip the thanking part. You can see collaboratively at the end.
Actually, I would like to request to few more time. I'm one of the sector representative, the Sustainable and Renewable Energy Association. I'm the senior vice president, and most of the people are member here. Yes, I need a few minutes more for remarks. If you allow me.
So you can see that,
Yes. First of all, I would like to say about the solar module manufacturing or something issues, which is our honorable chief advisor has been addressed many times, different cases, as well as also our advisor of energy and power. This has to be, take the initiative by the power division or the other related, state or, because there is many issues. They cannot be finding the profitable investment for the module manufacturing here. Because first of all, technology advancement. China has been always the technologies growing one after another. Because investment is here, it's not viable. We have many Chinese investment, but it's not viable. Should be favorable policies can be make this decision has been done. I think this is the thing. Second, the rooftop solar, which is we are doing from beginning 2007, slowly we are coming here. And the thing is that the rooftop solar is of course growing, but there is some of the issues. University has been given a very excellent presentation, but also there is funding issue is very important. I think the ITCO is here and all other institutions should go for the favorable policies. Mostly the ITCO is asking for the bank guarantee. If it is a tripartite agreement with the utility scale utility companies, I think this problem can be solved, and you should not have to take the guarantee from the investor. This is good things to be develop the renewable energy, the rooftop solar. Finally, I would like to say about the 34 projects, which is main issue has been discussed today. It is one kind of suicidal, I think. And whatever the decision has been come from the minister as an advisor, it's very clearly mentioned there. That not to go for the preparation, execution, as well as the purchase committee approval. It has been done the purchase committee procedure. Just only go for the preparation for the PPRI. Actually, many investment have been done here. If you go for this kind of issue to be cancelled, it is negative impact from the this investor. I think these things has to be considered. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So I would come maybe at this point 5. So one here, one there on my right and left. I'll go by that. And also, I should have mentioned earlier that language is of your choice, so it doesn't matter. So our colleagues are here, so they can translate to our foreign guests here, but it is your choice. Please introduce yourself and please be precise and concrete.
I will be precise. This is Sohan Ahmed. I'm the director of the my previous colleague told about the manufacturing facility. That is something I tried 3 years back. We were not competitive at that time because of the duty. Because in other countries, they don't have duty, but we have 10% duty, not only the solar module, also on the solar cell. I understand the solar module duty to protect the local industry, but as per my understanding, there are no solar module manufacturing facility right now. I myself built up one, which is not working right now. Second thing, I would like to put a caution in the field. If you look at a lot of facilities were shifted to Vietnam and other ASEAN countries. Today they are under inspection and subject to as high as 270% contribution. Because there is so much and so many investment in there, and there are about 40 to around 47% is sold in export from Vietnam and other countries. But they are also under the duty regime by USA. So it is a huge opportunity for us to attract those investments which are probably have to be shifted from Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, even from Cambodia. But then if we have if everyone start to step in the bandwagon, we'll have the same thing in future. So there is opportunity that will be managed properly with the future. First with the manufacturing plants. Second, about the solar plant, there are already land issues we talked about, transmission talked about. We have seen the changes coming. There are 3 documents will be required for land, but as per our assessment, it would not be enough to guarantee a purchase. So still will be there, and if you look back, the record says the number of the approval given and the number of the implementation, huge gap in the most region is the land. And another point to that, not only the land, there probably is a long-term issue, but then the capital, the readiness of the grid, because there are some investors in their state, they cannot evacuate the total power produced because of the grid instability. Monty told about on the rooftop solar net metering. It's a very good news that net metering policy is under revision right now. There is a clause in the net metering where it should be a signing tripartite agreement signing between the power purchase, power producer, and the utility. Utility didn't show any interest because that's somewhere when the risks of the investments are talked about, somewhere it covered the risks because in the policy it mentioned that if the power purchaser did not pay you for a couple of months, then the utility can come back and cut down your connection. But they were not a party to that, but now probably certain incentive will be taken, will be kept for them so that they can get interest.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll come to
Assalamu alaikum and good morning. It's always nice to be present at the program of CPD. It always gives a lot of food for thought. I'll be talking about my name is Gofu, Director of the Moon Economics Unlimited and Corporate Executive Director, the American Chamber of Commerce in Bangladesh. When we talk about FDI, let me give you a few numbers. If we look at last 3 years, 2021, 22, 23, FDI in Bangladesh was 1 billion, then 2 billion, and last year it was $3 billion. So it's about $2 billion on average, FDI in Bangladesh. But if you look at Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, and a few other countries, it's about 20, 30, 40, $60 billion. So I think this is very important to analyze why this is the situation where our number is so low. As I serve the economic zone, what I have seen practically, and I'm also taking the advantage of the presence of new MBR conversations. And I have heard what you're talking about a friendlier bureaucracy to develop in Bangladesh, which is extremely important. First, what we need is important is a predictable environment. When an investor comes, every investor comes, he or she looks at next 20, 30, 40 years. So the stability and predictable environment is critically important. The second thing is what I have mentioned earlier, a friendlier bureaucracy. Unfortunately, in the past it was difficult for us to tell the truth. Now we can tell that. We can freely express ourselves. And I think our new chairman will take advantage of that and will hear us. The third thing is the delays everywhere. For example, one investor is very, very interested to invest. We talk a lot, they are very happy with us, with the government. The moment they go for investment, they pass 6 months or 1 year, they have to face a real music. So we must end of this. The final thing I would like to tell is that BEZA, Bangladesh Economic Zone Society, they are committed to about 100 economic zones. Now I can see about 10 to 15 in operation, less than 10 to 15. The problem is that we must look at the existing investors. If we can help them, if we can make them happy, then it will be easier for them to work as our ambassador to attract further investment. I'm not going further. This country, Bangladesh, is a wonderful country, full of potential and opportunities, but time is right now to utilize this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'll try to cover as many as possible. Be rest assured. So
Thank you.
we are here as long as you are there.
Thank you. Now, Standard Chartered Bank Administrator and Head Corporate Promotions. I just like to address with the policy position that IPPs has off the grid, but solar project does not off the grid. It is a major impediment for funding financial arrangements. How to address that? I think that should be the core in terms of what finance as institutions take forward. I think that particular area has not been addressed over the period of the so far. And that's probably a major improvement for us to that.
Thank you. I think I will now come back to the family by designated discussions. So then I'll come to you again once again. So I have now the pleasure to call upon Ms. Soeda Afzal Desa. She is the head of sustainability at the Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation Limited from Dhaka. So Ms. Soeda Afzal Desa. Yes, you are from one of the largest financial organization which works on finance, investment, and administrative role like many other banks. So you have a very important role in supporting the private sector and industrialization. Now, sustainability is core at the core of all of the ambitions. Bank also. You have the sustainability department itself, which you are heading. So, what are the new opportunities and scopes for finance in the renewable energy sector, and particularly what opportunities we're looking at right now in this opportunity, and how that can be deployed? And do you have any other international